Welcome to Business Pitfalls and Profits, where we unravel the captivating world of unfamiliar but successful corporations and explore the highs and lows of celebrity endorsements and partnerships in the business realm. Subscribe now to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss an episode. And engage with me in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, your insights, and even suggestions for future episodes. Sean Diddy Combs filed a lawsuit against Diageo in May 2023, alleging neglect of the De Leon tequila brand, which the music mogul co-owns with the spirit company. This relationship came about in 2007 when Combs was contacted by Diageo to help grow its then struggling vodka brand, Ciroc, which had been a successful venture for both parties financially. In addition to the neglect of De Leon, Combs also accuses Diageo of racial discrimination, claiming that the company labeled De Leon as urban and characterized it as the black brand. Diageo denied the allegations, stating that this is a business dispute and emphasizing its commitment to diversity. Combs also claimed that Diageo had dedicated significant resources to other tequila brands, including Casamigos, backed by George Clooney, which Diageo agreed to purchase in 2017 for up to $1 billion. Combs also claimed that Diageo's president of reserve and new business, Stephen Rust, admitted that race played a role in limiting the distribution of Combs' brands. Diageo denied these allegations and accused Combs of making false and defamatory accusations of racism against the company and its senior executives. In June, Diageo ended its business relationship with Combs. Diageo said in a statement that Combs' actions breached his contracts and caused it to end its business relationship with the music mogul. We are saddened that Mr. Combs has chosen to react a business dispute as anything other than that, the company said. In the court filing, Diageo asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit. It said Combs only invested $1,000 into the tequila brand, while Diageo had invested more than $100 million. In response to that claim, Combs' lawyer stated that he complied with his contractual obligations. Quoted, Diageo partnered with him to use his widely known name and likeness to promote De Leon, he said. Its new, apparent focus on monetary funding belies the immense value Mr. Combs brought to establishing the growing De Leon brand. So recently, in September 2023, a judge rejected Diageo's motion to dismiss or send the lawsuit to private arbitration. So the case will continue in New York State Court and it will be open to the public. This marks Combs' first victory in the case. From that decision, details from the lawsuit were made public and revealed that Combs had repeatedly flagged racially insensitive matters to Diageo, which were allegedly ignored or repeated by the company. One example involved the launch of Ciroc's watermelon flavor, which Combs cautioned Diageo about associating watermelon with a brand characterized as a urban African American brand. Combs' legal complaint sought a court injunction to compel Diageo to adhere to their 2013 joint venture agreement and subsequent written agreements meant to address Combs' previous complaints about the management of De Leon. The issues he raised included chronically out-of-stock products, a tiny distribution footprint, and a botched, redesigned, and confusing changes on pricing. Combs also protested a decision by Diageo not to allocate available agave to De Leon during a shortage of the tequila's ingredient in 2020 and 2021. According to the court filings. The open documents allowed us to see the remark where Diageo executive cited race as a factor in limiting the distribution of De Leon in Ciroc, stating that if Combs were Martha Stewart, his brands would have a broader distribution. Diageo contends that it has treated Combs fairly over their long-standing partnership, making substantial investments that have been financially successful for all parties involved. However, Combs insists that his concerns had not been adequately addressed, leading to the dispute. After Diageo filed a motion to dismiss the case, Diddy alleged that they were retaliating against him for speaking out against their alleged racial discrimination. The message is clear. If you dare to shed light on Diageo's conduct, you will be punished, read the court filing at the time. These brazen acts of retaliation serves as a testament to the power dynamics at play within the industry and underlying the urgent need for justice and accountability. Combs expressed his determination to fight for fair and equal treatment for everyone and emphasized that the case was not just about him, but about seeking justice. Diageo, while disappointed with the judge's decision, maintained that it was not a ruling on the merits of the claim and is considering its legal options. And so in Combs' expression of him being determined for equal treatment for everyone, and with him emphasizing that the case was not just about him, I had to do some digging. And let's meet Eboni Major, the first Black blender at Diageo's Bulleit Distillery in Kentucky. She played a significant role in creating a bespoke bourbon called Blender's Select. Blender's Select received critical acclaim and was listed on Whiskey's Advocate's Top 10 list. However, Eboni Major alleges that she faced persistent racial hostility, pay discrepancies, and demeaning treatment from co-workers long before the product's launch. When she raised concerns with her superiors, she felt met with indifference and later faced isolation and pressure to leave the company. Diageo's dispute the claim she made, stating its commitment to diversity and inclusivity. Now, Ms. Major, who has a degree in food science from Alabama A&M University, arrived at Diageo in 2015 after working at Kettle Chips in Salem, Oregon. She began as an intern and quickly climbed the ranks to join the Bulleit blending team. Her role involved ensuring quality control for Bulleit's annual production and developing new variations of the brand's core lineup. Ms. Major received positive reviews from her managers and had substantial access to senior executives who were supporting her career development. However, her status as one of the few high-profile Black employees in the industry came with challenges, particularly at the Shelbyville distillery, where most workers were from a predominantly white and conservative area. Ms. Major alleges that she faced constant racial hostility from white colleagues, including offensive comments and racial slurs. She reported these incidents to her boss and human resources, but received very little support or action. In the lawsuit filed in April of 2022, Ms. Major mentioned an interaction of her coming to work with a new hairstyle, and a colleague greeted and asked her, "Hey, poofy head, what happened to the dreads?" She complained to her boss and human resources, but she said she was told to either reply with a snarky comment of her own or to ignore it. The lawsuit also mentioned an incident that occurred in August 2017. Not long after white supremacists marched in Charlottesville, Virginia, she overheard a colleague in the cafeteria say, "Blacks should get over statues." A while after that, someone had written on a conference room dry erase board, "If you go for Kentucky Blue, you must be a Jew." Diageo contends that they took Ms. Major's concerns seriously and conducted thorough reviews, reinforcing training and guidelines where necessary. During this time, Ms. Major gave presentations to retail chains, sitting for media interviews, and making regular appearances at whiskey and food festivals. Diageo put her photo on posters and hanging tags draped around the bottles of Bulleit. Eboni Major's as a prominent figure in the bourbon industry was growing, and Ms. Major was happy to play the part, as long as she was fairly compensated. Instead, she said she had to arrange her own travel and pay many of her expenses out of pocket. After one event, she said she was left standing in the rain while more senior people bundled into hired cars. Diageo has paid her less than the median average for her job role and less than her white colleagues. Diageo argued that her compensation was fair, with regular raises, and stated that they did not arrange travel for anyone except upper management. One of her appearances stood out in particular. In September 2019, Diageo asked her to appear on a podcast hosted by the comedian Adam Carolla. Ms. Major says she expressed hesitation because of Mr. Carolla's reputation for offensive jokes, but she was pushed to participate. As she feared, Mr. Carolla, who is white, made several comments during the taping that did offend her, including asking, "What would happen if I got pulled over by cops?" A segment in the podcast that was later edited out. Diageo said that after Ms. Major informed them of Mr. Carolla's comments, the company demanded and received an apology. The lawsuit from Ms. Major also alleges that the company began to restrict her from speaking publicly without its approval, which she saw as retribution for speaking out. Diageo argued that this was due to her conflict with the company and cited their policy of requiring prior approval for press interviews. In August 2020, Ms. Major sought legal counsel and intermediation with the company 2 months later. The talks did not lead to a resolution. So in June 2021, she resigned, citing constructive termination, where a company makes an employee's situation so unbearable that they are forced to quit. Ms. Major's lawsuit did not specify damages sought, and she has rejected a $300,000 offer from Diageo. She emphasized that her goal is not about the money, but about making her workplace better and addressing important issues. So in conclusion, from Sean Diddy Combs challenging Diageo over alleged neglect and discrimination involving his De Leon's tequila brand, to Eboni Major, the first black blender at Diageo's Bullet Distillery, facing very similar issues. These cases underscore the complex challenges faced by minorities within a predominantly traditional industry. Both seem to have different purposes, but in the same vein, with Diddy's lawsuit shedding light on a business dispute over brand treatment and alleged racial discrimination. Meanwhile, Eboni Major's experiences showcases the need for genuine efforts to bridge the gap between organizational diversity claims and the reality of working environments and conditions. In both cases, we witness the importance of standing up against injustice, be it in the boardrooms or major corporations, or on the production flows of distilleries. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Business Pitfalls and Profits. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss our next one. And most importantly, like it, share it with your fellow entrepreneur advocates. And until next time, stay curious and keep thriving.